Do you have tile floors? Have you ever looked at your grout in disgust, thinking, when did this turn brown? Even though deep down, you feel like a disgusting person because you know it's dirt that you tracked into your own house. Maybe you've even tried to remedy it by combining random household cleaning agents. Even if those work for you, the results were likely short-lived. Well, I know that for me, this has been an issue in our kitchen that has been driving me crazy for quite some time. That's why in today's video, I will use and review Grout-Eez by a company called Clean-Eez. I've been so excited to try this product, and after reading nothing but positive reviews, have super high expectations for excellent results. Let's get into it. Okay, so I have to say I order a lot of things on the internet, but I am genuinely excited about this box from Clean-Eez because it's the grout cleaner kit. And in it you get this brush. You can kind of see how it tapers to the middle to make kind of a point to really get into the grout. It's kind of a firm bristle. It's got one of these universal things that you can screw in a pole to help so you don't have to bend over, which is really nice. And then I got the 2-bottle kit. It tells you how many square feet one bottle works with, but I don't remember what the square footage is. I went ahead and got the 2-bottle just so that, you know, I wouldn't run out of product, and, you know, if I have a little bit left over, no big deal. And then with it comes sort of a plug for some of the other products that they have. They ask for a review. And then you have your instructions on how to clean the grout. They also have a really informative video on YouTube, which I will link below. Although that's exactly the same kind of thing that I will be covering today in my video. And then also a really nice touch is you get this letter, because this is a family business. It kind of gives you their story and how they started the company, but my name is actually handwritten, and then she signed it herself. And I love that they tell you that you can, you know, reach her directly if you have any sort of issue. They'll do whatever it takes to resolve whatever said issue is. It also says it here, and it was pretty quick shipping. I mean, it did ship priority mail, but I got it in just a couple of days. But I was really impressed with their follow-up after you place your order, and the fact that it's a family business. I love supporting them, but more than anything, I'm very hopeful for the product because of other reviews. Okay, so we're in my kitchen. We actually put this tile in 5 years ago, and I really wish we had sealed the grout, but nobody really told us, and you know, we just weren't thinking about it. So we didn't do that, and then over the course of just 5 years, the grout's gotten so much darker because it used to be this light gray, and just with foot traffic, our garage is right here, are mainly entering and exiting the house right here. Lots of foot traffic, it just is prone to get dirty. And so fortunately, we have this product from Clean-Eez that we can use to clean it up back to hopefully the color that it was, which we had a rug under our kitchen table, so I can actually show you what the color used to be like, and we can sort of compare and contrast to how dirty it's gotten over time. So we typically have a rug here. This is where our kitchen table goes, and I've moved the rug, but you can really see the grout color, what it should be, and then how it's gotten dirty. It just darkens so much. So I'll be doing the entire floor, but because this was under a rug, it kind of preserved the true color, so you can kind of get a comparison on how dirty it's gotten. We get the instructions. I already showed these with the product, but basically it's actually a really smart thing that they mention this. You want to test an inconspicuous area on your grout to make sure that it's actually going to clean up for the desired results that you have, which I've already done, and I'm very pleased with it, so I'm like ready to do this project. But then the next step would be, I'm going to section out parts of my kitchen so that I don't get too far ahead of myself, because the way that you apply the solution is you need to leave it on the grout sitting for 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to just kind of do like one part and then move on to the next part. And then after you let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, you want to agitate it with the brush that they give you. I have this pole extension that I can use, but it's really nice because you don't have to actually bend over to do it. But then once you've kind of agitated the grout lines with the solution on it, then the next step is to rinse the area with hot or warm water. So basically just mop it. And then the grout will stay dark because it's wet for a while, but as it dries, you'll actually be able to see the final results. So I'll do a little bit of a demonstration on the first little section that I'm gonna work on, and then we'll follow up after the entire kitchen's done. Okay, so the product comes with this little like application nozzle. It's actually kind of tricky though because it really just starts coming out. So you almost have to kind of act like you're coloring it. And then they make mention that if you get it outside of the grout, it's okay. It's not going to harm your tile. But what you can do is get the brush to kind of guide it back in like that. Just spilled all over the place. So I can get this, just kind of sweep it into the grout lines. But that's really what you want to do. Is I'm not agitating it yet. I'm not skipping the step. I am going to let this sit for 5 to 10 minutes. But just to ensure that it gets in the grout lines, you could use this, which is also helpful. But we're gonna let that sit 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll come back in here, agitate it, and then rinse it with the warm water. It's been about 10 minutes. I opted to do the longer soak, but wanted to also note the smell. It actually has a very citrusy smell, so it's not like too overwhelming. But again, I did a smaller section just so that I could manage and stay on top of it. But yeah, so now we'll agitate the grout. So using the brush they give you, I mean literally just kind of brush that. You can kind of see some of the dirt coming out. But I'm just gonna brush all of the area that I just applied the product to, and then we will mop it up and let it dry, and we'll be able to see just how well it works. I just finished the grout in our kitchen. I actually didn't even have to open the second bottle. So you might want to measure out your square footage of your kitchen. I don't have a terribly large kitchen, but I actually like having some on hand because I wasn't able to get their grout sealer. So I might have to do this again, hopefully not. But I wanted to kind of emphasize that the grout gets dark. As you can see, it's a lot darker than it was. So when you do this job, don't panic if the grout gets really dark because it just needs to dry. There are certain areas that seem to be drying a little quicker than others, but because I already tested the product like they recommend to do an inconspicuous area, I know that it will stay dark for a while, but then once it dries, it should go back to the color it originally was. Update on the grout cleaner by Clean-Eez. It's been a couple of days since I did the job, and you can't argue that it works. However, something strange that I've found is like this is actually darker than it was. And it's not that it's dirty, it's just update on the grout cleaner by Clean-Eez job. It's actually been a couple of days since I did the job. I definitely think that it works. However, something I've noticed is there are grout lines that are dark that previously weren't. Example, this grout line here actually goes up to the rug. It's significantly darker than it was. However, if you look really closely, it's not dirty. I think the product was on it too long and it caused it to darken it. I'm not really sure what that's about, but then this line here, it's in the main flow of traffic, so I know it got cleaner than it was. And this is also the general area that I filmed prior to starting on the job. So again, you can't argue that the product works. It's almost that if you leave the product on too long, it can actually darken the grout lines. Now, I've reviewed the company's videos that they made online, and they recommend that you start with a smaller area when you're doing the project than I did. So maybe that's a result of getting too far ahead of myself and not being able to get it up within that 5 to 10 minute range. However, I've also seen that the 5 to 10 minute suggestion is just that, and if it's on there longer, it shouldn't do any harm. But you may have to go back and treat certain areas again. But it's just a really odd thing because it looks now like this is dirty. It's not. It should look like this. I don't know why it doesn't. I'm actually considering revisiting a lot of these darker areas. Here's another example, contrasted by the lighter, true grout color that the product did clean. So as I was kind of just filming my follow-up, looking at some of the grout lines, I actually noticed these spots on our gas range, which is only like 2 years old, and they definitely weren't there before. So I can only speculate, and that's all this is. I'm definitely planning to reach out to the company for hopefully some advice on the grout lines, but also inquiring about the product on stainless steel, because I can only assume that the product might have gotten on here and caused these marks, which actually went after it with some stainless steel cleaner and then a magic eraser. And it did clean up a little bit, but they're definitely still there. So yeah, kind of freaking out about that, to be honest. Well, I reached out to the Clean-Eez customer service email about the darker grout lines and the stainless steel issues. Sherry, who happens to be the co-founder, was super helpful. I think it's important to note that Clean-Eez is not sponsoring this video, and even after reaching out to them, they're unaware that I'm even making this. For the darker grout lines, she recommended that I do another pass on those areas, which I can definitely do since I bought the 2-pack. As for the stainless steel, she did acknowledge that this is a known issue. The Grout-Eez product does damage stainless steel, which in my opinion is an area of opportunity for their marketing materials, because I don't recall seeing that on anything despite them having very informative information alongside their products. But that said, she did reference a product I can buy from another company that will resolve the issue. While this is yet another product I'll have to buy, I do appreciate that she was at least able to present a solution which she said should take care of the issue entirely. So to wrap up this video, I do recommend Grout-Eez to clean your tile and grout. I love the opportunity to support a small family-run business, and this product really does work. My key takeaways are to do small areas at a time, understand that you may need to go back over some areas, and to avoid getting the product on your stainless steel appliances by taping it off with painter's tape or the like. If you liked this video or found it to be helpful, please give it a thumbs up. That helps promote my videos to others with dirty grout. And if you like the general content for cleaning hacks and how-tos, please consider subscribing for more content like this. Okay, so that's going to wrap up today's video. This is Good Clean Fun, product reviews and cleaning how-tos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.